welcome to my home office. That's where I'm coming to you from today. So since it's my home, I can't guarantee that maybe a person or a cat or a dog is not going to walk through the door or behind the doors and disrupt us, but that would be kind of exciting, a little addition to the story today. So you might remember a while back, I did a segment on how to grow, harvest, and preserve herbs to give as gifts later on. Well, my herbs are ready. They're all dry. And I'm going to show you how I did that. I'll do a little bit of a recap, and then I'll show you how I package them, because herbs are a really great gift to give as a hostess gift during the holidays or really any time of the year, especially if you have friends that are cooks. So let's check this out. Do you remember what it was like in summer? Isn't it nice to see some warm weather? I mean, the snow's wonderful this time of year, but it's still nice to see this. This is my veg garden. I like to call it my potager, which is French for kitchen garden. I just love the way that sounds. This bed's full of herbs that I harvested. As a master gardener, I always refer to information from the University of Minnesota Extension website and their research archives. So if you want more information on how to do this, how to preserve herbs, you can check out their website. But anyway, it's best to pick your herbs in the morning, preferably before they flower. You can preserve them by freezing them using a dehydrator or hanging them to dry, which is what I did. When you bring herbs from your garden into your home, you might also bring in some critters, some insects. So you have to get rid of them, especially if you're going to give them as gifts. So the best way to do that is to freeze them. You can put them in a freezer bag, the herbs in a freezer bag for 48 hours, or you can pop them in a preheated oven for about 30 minutes at 160 degrees. This can make sure that there's no critters that pop out of the bottles when you give them to your friends. Okay, the dry herbs I'm using now are oregano, rosemary, sage, mint, lots of mint here again, thyme, and coriander. Herbs last about 3 months in an airtight container, and you can use jars. These are jars that I've kept. I buy something in them and wash them out, dry them out. Or you can use containers that they can keep as gifts afterwards, something like this piece of pottery or the crystal. And this one that my son made a while back, it's just the cutest thing, a ceramic. He made it in a high school class. I also sometimes like to include a little spoon. Super fun addition. And I bought these very cheaply at a flea market. So again, make sure the containers are clean and dry. When you fill them up, don't crinkle the herbs, as they'll lose freshness faster. So you don't want to crinkle them up until you add them to your food. When you're gathering leaves, thyme leaves are really, really tricky because the stems often come off the plant with them. And I don't want to give a whole bunch of stems in the bottle to someone because they can stick in your teeth and all that stuff. So I just shake them, shake these little things until the leaves fall out. I often do it in a paper bag so they don't get everywhere like they're doing now, but I wanted to show you. So I'm doing this on the counter. Takes a while to sort through, but it's worth doing. Once your herbs are ready to go, you put them in a jar. I chose this little one for the thyme. Super cute. I'm going to use this bigger one for sage. I'm just pinching off the leaves and putting them whole into the jar. Also, for this jar, I don't want my friend that I'm giving it to see the label, the writing on the top. So if you wrap it with foil, it's really easy to cover up. Bada bing. Okay, the last one I'm going to show you today is a mix of my favorite herbs together: rosemary, thyme, sage, oregano, and mint, all together in one little box. Be sure to label them so whomever's using those herbs will know what they're using. To make these gifts look festive and fun, I like to wrap the jars in a kitchen cloth or tea towel that has a botanical theme tied with a ribbon, or you can use a holiday bag. Anything you'd use to wrap a gift, you can use to wrap your herb jars. And for this box, I simply wrapped a ribbon around it and topped it with a bow, and I added a little spoon on top. The finished products, I love doing this every year because they're so fun. And also when I'm putting them together, it reminds me of being outside in the Groovy garden in warmer weather during the growing season, but it also gets me super excited for getting outside in the garden next year. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.